Okay, so I hope everyone's had a coffee. I'm back and refreshed. Got notifications going off here. Let's just turn those off. Okay, cool. So as I was saying in the last part of the evening, I don't know where we are now. I don't know how many videos this will be. We've been going for about 2 or 3 hours straight now. So we just recently talked about bash variables and inputs into functions. And then we've looked at maybe making some use cases where we've checked for pseudo access and we've checked if the number of parameters have been passed through or the correct amount. And we just finished off this check existence function. So that's where we were in the last video. Now we're going to have a look at some default parameters. So let's just pick up where we left off. So in here now, in fact, actually, I think it might be better to set a new function at this point. Let's make a new function, and we'll talk about default parameters. In fact, actually, let me make some examples first of some default parameters, and then we'll use the function because it might not be clear to some people. So let's do param, and we'll do equals. So that's empty. That's an empty parameter. Okay. If I was to echo this out now, so echo out param, you can see that it's empty. There's nothing in it, right? If I wanted to have a default value for param, so if it comes empty, if it comes back with nothing in it, I can use a syntax of, let's just do this. So if I go curly brackets here, like I normally do for setting parameters, if I just come here and I would do the colon and hyphen, what we could do is we could set this to something if the param field itself is empty. So let's do, well, a good example might be home. Okay, so we could do home. So if param's empty, we're now going to echo out home. And you can see that that has actually worked. A slightly different variation of that is if we go up, we could actually just replace this hyphen with an equal sign. And then if parameter's empty, we then actually set parameter to home. So if we do that now, and in fact, actually, before we do that, let's just go back and echo parameter and show you it's still empty. So echo, and then obviously we've got this, this syntax. So we're echoing out home if it's empty. And then we've got this syntax here where we can set an equal sign, like so. And then when we echo out parameter, we've now also set it to home. So I hope these two pieces of syntax make sense. So we've got the colon with the hyphen, a colon with the equal sign. One will replace and echo out this in place of this if it's empty. The other will also set it as well. So there's a bit of a distinct difference between those two. So let's now, let's make a new file here. And what I want to do is I want to look at how we would deal with piped in value. So we've done a lot of work here with passed in parameters into the command line like so. But what if we wanted something where we're actually piping something in? So let's make a file and let's give it a purpose like manipulating some kind of string that we're going to pipe in, because that's probably the easiest to demonstrate. Let's do a conversion. So let's convert the string. What we're going to do, convert. I'll tell you what, let's just convert it to lowercase. That's probably the most obvious and easiest to everyone to see. Okay, so we're going to have a function here that's going to convert a piped in string to lowercase. Let's just get the framework going. So we can have function like so, convert lowercase. We'll talk about function naming and stuff in another video. Right now, this just makes clear sense. So the first thing we need to do is we need to grab the input. Now, input for this function can come from two places. We're going to look at piped in input, and we're going to look at passed in input. So what I mean by that is, if we do, that was the last one. If we do convert lowercase, we could have some input here, or if we wanted to, we could do like echo and have here pass into our function, like so. We want this to capture both types of input. So how we do that is, let's just make a comment here. So we're going to have like either grab input, let's say. Let's make a local variable called input equal to, we've seen the one passing parameter syntax before, but if this is empty, so this is why we looked at default values in the last part of this series, is we just do the semicolon, the colon, sorry, the hyphen. Now, this is where we're going to try and grab the standard input. And there's actually a symbolic path name to actually do this. So I'm going to do a little command shell here, and we're going to redirect the dev standard in. So this now is going to be the standard in, and this is going to be present if there's no actual value passed in by parameter. And then we're just going to echo out input here. So let's just make sure that's working as we think it might be working. So if we do this, that didn't do what I thought it was going to do for whatever reason. And let's just double check our code to make sure our homework is good. And we've got oh yeah, of course, because we haven't actually called our function down here. So let's just do that. Like so. Okay, so now we've actually called the function as well. So let's just do that. Okay, so now we've got here, and that's been piped. And then we could also do the convert lowercase like that, and we could do here. And that is causing an error because of spotted. Oh, of course. So what we've done here again is like, because I'm running this on the command line here, the actual value needs to be here. And we'll overcome this in a second. So right now, we're looking at this as something that we could maybe source in and use in our function libraries with the source command. So this here is not passing to here yet. So what we're actually going to do in a minute is we're going to pass the values in here, and we're going to use the operator that we used previously. But just now, just to make sure this is working, let's just do this here. So if we want to carry out and take all of the input that we've got on the command line and pass it to here, we could actually just do this syntax, okay? So that syntax would work. And the next thing that we'd want to probably do here is we actually want to check if this is being sourced in a script or being run on the command line, and we can do that. It's a bit more of a complicated syntax, but we do something like if not, and then we want a condition here. And what we'd actually do is we do a return 0 with a 2 and a dev null like that. So that's actually what we're checking. This would return true, but we're sending the output of this to dev null. So this would return true if we're actually running this from, if we're not running this from a function, but we're negating that. So then it's like then, and then we do a phi like so, and we do something like that. So then we'd have this syntax here, which is getting passed through here, but also we could then do echo here, and get passed in like that. And either or is absolutely fine, but we could also then do source, convert, and have that inside our memory of our machine. And it would also work, so then we could do convert lowercase, and we could do here, like so, or we could do echo here and pipe that into convert lowercase like that. So that would all work. So we've actually got the base now of our function. So realistically here, the last thing to do now is just to convert whatever comes in to lowercase. A few commands can do this, and it's really easy. So in my case here, I prefer to use the translate command, the tr command. 1 second. So getting a bit dry after all this talking, right? So echo input. Now I would do it with the tr command like so, and then what we can use is we can use these. No, recording. I am recording. Okay, so we can use the tr command, and we can do basically So my preferred way is to use the translate command, the tr command. I would do it like tr, and then we have to have a pair of what we want to translate into what we want to translate. So two groups of strings. We will, I have got a lot to teach you about strings and wordless manipulation when we get to the tools. I've recently done a presentation on string and wordless manipulation, which was like nearly 2.5 hours. So we're going to cover that subject in depth when we get to it. But right now we're going to have these groups, these commands here. These are like built-ins for the tr command, and we just make them like so on both sides. And these represent groups of characters. And all we need to do in this case here is have like an upper to lower. So we do something like that. So if we run this now, let's go back again to echo here. And that's not worked because of, why has that not worked? Did I not save it? And let's have a look why that's not worked. Oh, of course, because we already sourced it already. So because we sourced, we've still got the old version into our thing. So let's just source that again. Now, let's do that here. So now it's now working. And then the next thing you could probably do is make an uppercase, and the uppercase would be so easy. We just copy this. And you can imagine we're just going to replace. So let's just do convert uppercase, something like that. And in here, you'd have convert, and then where you got lowercase here. So let's just go lowercase b, call this uppercase. And then you just swap these around, so upper and lower. Okay, so now we've got the uppercase function written. I'm just going to do a chomod plus x, go convert uppercase, like so. I'm going to echo my lowercase string, and we'll just do convert uppercase, like so. So we've converted our lowercase string to uppercase. I think at this point, that's probably all I want to talk about in terms of default parameters and standard in. Yeah, I think now we'll have to move on now into user interface design. Again, hopefully you're following along. Hopefully these things are useful. If you have any sort of inspiration or any kind of direction you want to give me where you want this to go specifically, let me know in the comments. I think as this channel grows, I think I will actually start planning out lessons. I know I keep saying this, but right now I'm just on a mission to get as much information out as possible to get us up to the point where we can make our bash tools, and then we can move on to Python, PowerShell, and C#, etc. So hopefully you like this. Please give it a thumbs up if you do, because I mean I gauge the thumbs up as as acceptance, I guess. So let me know if you like this. Any constructive feedback you've got, put it in the comments. Anything positive, negative, as long as it's constructive, just put it in the comments. Well, actually, if it's positive, it hasn't got to be constructive. You can just flatter my ego, but like just put something in the comments and let me know how we're going. And till the next time, I think I'll leave it there for tonight. Cheers, guys.